These 2-point campus tips will help you build and manage universities full of students with almost no disasters. Almost. There's a lot to consider when trying to keep everyone happy while avoiding going under. But keep your students placated, keep those tuition fees coming in, and you'll dominate the educational institutions of 2-Point County. While it might look like a fairly silly simulation, it's packed with complex systems that can take some working out. So here are 10 tips to help you get started with 2-Point Campus. When starting out, you'll have loads of terminology thrown your way, and a lot of features are available to you right away whether you're using them or not, which means some things you have at the start aren't explained until much later in the game. To help you out, make sure you hover over any objectives to get a more thorough explanation of what to do, particularly if you've forgotten what a term means or which menu to check statistics in. This also goes for any furniture and items you can place, as you can see any special bonuses, costs, and conditions that an item has. Not all items have in-game effects and can just be decorative, so you really should avoid those to save money in the long term. For example, the regular library reception has no effects, while the giant library reception increases learning power and attractiveness. It is more expensive overall, but the buffs it comes with will pay off. The 2-Point Campus Pause feature is essential to successful university management. The game condenses entire academic years into minutes, so you'll quickly realize that running a college and meeting the needs of all its students and employees is impossible without conveniently stopping time whenever you need to. Use this feature to complete multiple construction projects at once, easily move staff around to work on urgent jobs, and buy yourself time to avoid missing multiple challenge deadlines and student requests. When you start a new campus, you'll want to make sure you hit pause and build the essentials first. Make sure you check off the required buildings to get things ready for students, then build a few extra essential buildings, assuming you've got money to spare. We recommend a library, a dormitory with several beds, and a bathroom with at least a couple of toilets. This strikes a balance between ensuring a reasonable level of happiness for your students and staff, and avoiding debt by splashing all the tuition fees on fancy lecture theatres. In general, start small and build or expand rooms to meet needs, and don't spend loads on new plots. There are a few cheap things you can buy that will provide nice bonuses to all your rooms. Posters are cheap, require no maintenance, and boost a room's attractiveness. Plants are similarly cheap and boost attractiveness, but require a bit of maintenance. Bins are small, making them easy to fit in rooms to boost hygiene and reduce litter. And finally, you might also want to consider hand sanitizer and rugs to boost hygiene and attractiveness respectively. This will all contribute to a room's room prestige, and higher prestige means students and staff will be happier and healthier. Having some cash to spend in 2-Point Campus is crucial for developing your college further or getting yourself out of a sticky financial situation. As a rule, we recommend having at least $30,000 saved, which should be enough for most items and room types. However, when this just isn't possible, loans will let you risk a short-term cash injection in exchange for a long-term repayment. There are 3 loan types offering different sizes and repayment rates, so picking the right one for your situation is important. Don't just opt for the smallest loan and then get stuck again, prompting you to take out another loan. This will cause you to spiral into debt, which is obviously pretty bad. Invest your loan carefully, and you can save yourself from a dire financial situation, but these should be seen as a last resort. Having money to spend on your 2-Point Campus is important, but you won't get any money if you have unhappy, failing students. Their hefty tuition fees are largely what keeps your campuses afloat, so keep them cheered up with student lounges and parties, and ensure they pass each year and pay those fees. Make sure you regularly check on all students' grades under personal management to see who needs help. Any students with a grade lower than a C definitely needs to go to private tuition. 2-Point Campus clubs buff your students. Students can sign up to clubs that receive numerous benefits that will improve their time at your university. For example, the Power Nap Club allows members to regain energy anywhere, while Book Club members learn faster. Students will often request club items which have their own benefits, such as the Speed Walking Wheel for the Speed Walking Club. Keep your staff happy too. Students pay for the campus, but the campus pays the staff, and without money, you won't be able to pay your staff and what it needs, leading to resignation, so it's important to look after them. You can increase the wages for individual employees, which will increase their happiness, but you'll obviously need the profit to cover the pay rise. A decent staff room stocked with items that will boost staff stats is also important. The right sofa will develop friendships, while dartboards will provide entertainment, and tea and snack tables will boost food and drink levels. Add in a few posters to boost attractiveness, as mentioned earlier, and you should have a high room prestige that'll cheer up the staff. Kudosh is an important currency in 2 Point Campus that is used to permanently unlock new items, including important stat-boosting ones. While there are a few methods for getting Kudosh, the main way is through career goals. Click the Career Goals briefcase icon in the top right corner of your screen to open the list of career goals objectives. You'll work through most of them simply by playing, so check back every so often to see if you've collected any, and make sure that you collect your Kudosh to move on to the objective's next stage, which will award even more. Finally, you'll really want to keep on top of your messages. Since they come in pretty often, it's a good idea to occasionally pause the game and read through all messages in your inbox, which range from promotions that'll offer a challenge in exchange for a reward — you should always accept these by the way — things like student requests for events and new furniture, and your monthly earnings report. Student requests will usually task you with unlocking an item with Kudosh if you haven't already, and then spending money to place it somewhere on your campus. Fulfilling these requests will cheer up your students, and provide other stat-boosting opportunities depending on what they ask for. However, some requests can be incredibly costly, so if you simply don't have the Kudosh and likely won't before the request expires, don't hesitate to reject it to clear your inbox. So there are some education tips to help you run the best not real universities you can. If you have anything you think may be useful for anyone else, why not drop it in the comments below, and stay with GamesRadar for more 2 Point tips and more.